And we are back at it. What's good, chat? What's good, everybody? What's good, gang? How y'all feeling today? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling today? Video I posted yesterday, we got some good feedback on that. So thank y'all. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn that post notification on so y'all can see every time I post a video. Y'all some real ones. For real, y'all some real ones. I told you I'm gonna keep posting. Just keep on showing me that love. I love it. Just keep it. I'm gonna keep being constant for y'all. Today we gonna be reacting to a 7 days in Ukraine video. hmm I was gonna do 20v1, but I'll do that later. I feel like I did that. I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over. I don't want to get too basic with it. So that's that. Right now. I'm just pulling up my thing so I can see the chat. So I see y'all messages. I want to miss y'all. Miss if anybody's typing in the chat. Okay. So let's go ahead and react to this video. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. Just fix this so y'all can corner. Good.
I guess there's no other way.
Hold on, let me do one more thing real quick because I don't want this to his thing to be in there. Let me just open it up a little bit more. Boom. Y'all bear with me. I'm still low key a noob at this. Alright, bet.
The way to say this.
Russian troops are closing in on the capital.
The largest invasion of a neighboring country since World War II.
I'm on my way to Ukraine. Some of you might be worried about my safety or wondering why.
Hopefully we don't get copyrighted for this video because yesterday when I was reacting to a different video, it was a Casanat interview. It copyrighted me, but who knows why. But
I am heading to a country caught in the grip of a brutal war. My mission is simple. I'm going to Ukraine to share stories of resilience and give a voice to the 40 million locals who dream of peace in their homeland.
We are in
yo, this guy is brave to go to Ukraine. If y'all didn't know, Ukraine is in the middle of a war. I mean, y'all are gonna know that, but it's crazy. Like he went to Ukraine with the chance of not returning. Like he really sacrificed, not even sacrificed. He really took a chance.
danger. We are dying.
Over the next 7 days, I'll be traveling 1,000 kilometers across the country, from the charming villages in the west to the dangerous front lines in the east, where buildings look like this and sleeping in bomb shelters is a necessity.
Shit, we just heard a bomb check.
The risks are real, but I believe that meeting eye to eye with local people is one of the best ways that I can support Ukraine in this fight. I hope to replace narratives of destruction with ones of solidarity. This journey will forever change how you see Ukraine. So the situation on this train is pretty crazy. It's 98% Ukrainians. Actually, the conductor told us that. It's chaos. When we got on the train, everyone was pushing around to get the seat. It's fully sold out. It's just a shocking reality. Like it hits you in the face that you are going to war zone.
HoneyBook completely changed how I do business. I'm a photographer and independent business. It's a fact.
It was a long night. I ended up sleeping okay, but the guy was snoring so loud next to me. Anyways, we're just 2 minutes away from arriving. I have no idea what to expect. I don't even know how immigration works, but sense adventure.
Got beds on the train.
Be careful. Be ready. Be positive.
Be positive, yeah.
I'm not scared. Are you scared?
Yes, sure I'm scared. Yes, because every day bomb.
After 15 long hours, we've officially arrived in Lviv. It's beautiful. So far, life in Lviv feels pretty normal, but I know the war is lurking around the corner. To get a deeper sense of the city and ongoing situation, I'm meeting my local friend
don't look
Markian,
that bad
who's ready
so
to
far,
show me
chat.
around and help me navigate my next week in Ukraine.
My friend Markian here is actually from Lviv. It's a nice place, dude.
It don't look that
Yeah, it's a
bad.
very old city. Is this the westernmost big city in Ukraine? Yeah, people come here all over
Looks
from
old
Europe,
school,
like
you know?
just to hang out. Culturally,
Very
how is
classic.
this place different than elsewhere in Ukraine? This part of the country was
European.
Austro-Hungarian Empire, and the
European
other part
style.
of the country was Russian Empire. Got so it. you have a little bit like language difference. And for example, majority of population here is Catholic, and people in the eastern part are Orthodox.
Interesting.
So it's a little bit different. So everything seems to be open. All the stores, cafes, bars, restaurants, it's open. Yeah, but if you look like there, for example, you see the gray box is generators. As the power goes out because of the Russian attacks, in July we had 16 hours of electricity per day. It's because Russia destroyed the power station. Yeah, restaurants are open, and because people want to like maintain this sense of normalcy. But under the surface, it doesn't feel normal. And do you think people here are scared?
Damn, that sucks.
I think there's like no place that people can feel safely to be in Ukraine. That's quite hard.
I mean, if you're getting
stressful, it's
bombed
like-
consistently, like I wouldn't feel safe either. Go to sleep and a bomb will just
people are quite
gone.
tired. Are your friends in Lviv or they left? Some went to fight in the front lines. Some of them went abroad. It can be hard if your families move.
Pretty sure it's
This
hard,
main
man. You gotta
square of
pray for
Lviv
these
was
folks.
never attacked, right? I would not say
Shit
no,
sucks,
but
bro.
it's very low. You know, I've seen so many Ukraine flags all around Europe, and now when I'm looking at the flag and I'm in Ukraine, it hits harder. Like almost every day, there is a funeral for the military servicemen, and you can
Damn,
see
bro,
here the biographies.
What is the real reason like behind this war? Like I really like me. I'm not really too big on the politics and stuff. I didn't really pay attention. Like don't get me wrong, I feel bad and stuff, but like what's the real reason? Like why
Funeral
are they,
was today
why
in
are
the
they
morning,
getting bombed like
so it
this?
just
Like, what's
happened.
going on?
I think it's very important for us that we don't not forget about heroes, that the war is still happening on. We don't hide from war. How come this is covered? There is a lot of statues were covered, so if there is a rocket strike, that it would not be damaged. It says original, we will enjoy after the victory. Those people, they fought for us to have like a normal life. Oh man, I don't know what to say. Like, I want to just talk about how beautiful Lviv is, how great it is, but then there's this like underlying like sadness in the air. Every day, like there is at 9 o'clock, there is a minute of silence that we pay respects for the fallen heroes, and then we continue with our days.
So during World War II, there was like a Ukrainian movement that fought both against the Nazi Germany and the Soviets, and they had like this tiny hiding spots. To get there, you need to know the password, and so one of them is here.
This is where we're eating?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
whoa.
a restaurant. You need to say Slava Ukraini to get in. Glory to Ukraine.
No, oh my god, is that like vodka?
You got a whole
Dude, this is amazing.
That's like some secret society type shit, like. But the whole country's on this, like the whole country's. That's crazy.
Ah,
Imagine having to go to a restaurant close to where you live, and you have to secretly say a password just to enter. It's crazy.
First moments in Lviv, and we're being poured liquor by a man.
oh my god.
Everybody be asking me, man, does the Bluetooth actually work?
Oh my god.
We went to the front.
My bad, guys.
It's chaos when we got on the train. Everyone was pushing around to get the seat. It's fully those people.
Ah,
First moments in Lviv, and we're being poured liquor by a man.
oh my god.
Attaboy. Thank you. Very much. Very much. This is so awesome. It's like this back little alley. This guy just serving us liquor. Now we're literally in a bunker from World War II. Markian was just explaining that all those badges up there are from this current war, and soldiers that have come in the restaurant have put their badges up on the wall. They're even up here, everywhere. This is what my grandma used to cook me when I was a kid. And also sour cream.
What is that?
It's beets, cabbage, sour cream, and meat. Hearty.
beets, beets is good for
We got
your
this
heart.
Ukrainian beer. What's it called?
Putin dickhead.
Putin dickhead
I don't know.
beer.
That don't sound
Cheers.
good though. Beets and cabbage.
Wow, very strong. Our waiter just asked us if we want to shoot Putin, so that's where we're going.
Whoa! Oh, okay. He dead.
Wow, that's actually pretty good. He's dead.
I was about to say them Russians do love them beers
Putin's dead.
and vodka,
We're in
but
the
these
lovely
ain't, they're
Jewish
not
quarter
Russian.
in Lviv, which dates back to the 14th century. Once upon a time, there was a very thriving
They're
Jewish
going against
community
Russia,
here
right?
and all over Ukraine. And then in the Holocaust,
they're going against
unfortunately,
Russia.
it was wiped out. But here you can see charming cafes, restaurants. It's the same in Krakow,
man.
Poland. They get similar vibes.
Maybe,
There's
yeah.
synagogues around here. It's really special. As a Jewish person, it's cool to connect to my roots a little bit. So tell me more about the history of Lviv. So before World War II,
A lot of Jews actually lived here. Yeah, after the World War II, after the Holocaust, a lot of them moved out.
the last century of Ukraine's history is quite fascinating. Before World War I, Ukraine was split between the Austro-Hungarian Empire in the west and the Russian Empire in the east, with its culture and autonomy suppressed. After a brief declaration of independence in 1917, Ukraine
They're
was fully
basically
absorbed
Russians.
into the Soviet Union. The 1930s brought famine, killing millions, followed by Stalin's purges, a Soviet campaign that tried to eliminate national minorities through fear, executions, concentration camps, and imprisonments. During World War II, the Nazi occupation led to the murder of 1.5 million Ukrainian Jews, and more than 8 million Ukrainians overall. After the war, Ukraine stayed under Soviet control until gaining independence in 1991. This history of struggle continues to shape Ukraine's fight for sovereignty and identity today.
This is a memorial for
They
people
just got
who were
independence.
killed during the Revolution of Dignity
1991?
in 2014.
That ain't nothing but 40 years ago, damn near like 40 something years ago. That's crazy.
So there's been war here for like 10 years.
The whole generation
They've been
doesn't
fighting
know
ever
Ukraine
since.
without war. Signature, it says, don't let your heart to rot, a human in you will die.
On the sad note of war, I just heard about a missile attack in Lviv that struck an apartment building a few weeks ago.
The city's mayor said more than 50 buildings had been damaged.
Markian says we can go to the actual street to check it out and learn more about what happened.
50
Keep in mind,
buildings?
we are over 1,000 kilometers to the Russian
Bro,
border.
how much
So
people
a
are
few weeks
dying?
ago, there was a rocket strike on Lviv, 6 missiles, 12 drones. Civilian house was hit, 7 people were killed.
Right there, you can see the top of it. It's destroyed.
And the whole family, you see, 3 girls and the wife, they were killed, and only husband stood alive.
This is like a normal residential street. It's beautiful. There's cobblestone streets, old buildings, and the strike just hit this one building.
The oldest daughter, she was co-worker of several of my friends, and there was a festival for youth that they were preparing, and she was killed just 3 days before the festival.
So Russia's
Dude, that's
1,500
sad,
kilometers
bro.
away.
Yeah, but they struck it with a hypersonic missile, Kinjal, that can get here in 7 minutes, and only US provided Patriot systems can shoot it down, and we don't have a lot of them, just a few.
A plane would take like an hour to travel that distance.
2-3 hours, yeah.
What are you thinking about?
Why are you so stupid?
People killing people for no reason.
Piece of land, like. The thing about that is, like, you'll never know if your house is next.
Yeah.
You see a school?
You don't know what's next. Like I said, and we can't do nothing. America can't do nothing. China can't do nothing. Because if they do, we're all going to war with Russia. Because I guess Russia wants to own Ukraine. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a school.
We're not
Right
trying
next
to
to
go
the-
war. We're not
Oh my
trying
god,
to
it's
be
giving me goosebumps.
the next.
It's so
Ukraine. We don't
heartbreaking
wanna
to
get
see
bombed or
a
whatever.
school and hear these kids playing. It's just like literally
No
10
kid,
steps from the
none.
building
That
was just
doesn't
destroyed.
involve no
It
kids.
really hits
or
hard.
nothing. I can't just
On
be
the 1st of
bombing places.
September, I woke up because of my cat because he was running around the house and he was like screaming. Then I went to the window. I saw explosion, firework all over the sky. There was no light outside, no electricity, so no signal of danger.
Which building were you in?
Number 45.
Oh, right next to it.
Yes, I have seen
Bro,
all this
these
happen
people
in
look traumatized, chat. You look traumatized.
5:45 in the morning.
What did you do right when the
I
missile?
fell down on the floor. I had blood from my nose running blood. I felt deaf about 1 minute and I hear screams.
Bro, that's a living nightmare. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I would probably just do this a living nightmare, bro. Like, this just reminded me of the Bosnian War. I forgot who the Bosnians was in war with a couple years ago. Cause in high school, I had a Bosnian friend. And his dad always, we lived in the same neighborhood, and his dad was always spazzing sometimes because he would have like PTSD, and I'd be like, bro, is your dad good? He'd be like, yeah, bro, he just got PTSD from the war. I'm just like, what war? Well, you know, Bosnia, and I think it's another country with an S. I forgot what country they were at war, and he had to basically fight out and for his freedom, and he moved to America. You know, they snuck and came to America and stuff like that. That was a shock because at the time I was just 14. I'm just like, damn, bro, like your dad was like that. Like you feel me? Like he was in a war. He had to fight. Yeah. He's just like, yeah, bro. That shit was crazy.
Screaming
Like,
outside,
this
and
shit
I
really
wanted
be
to help,
real.
but
Like we take life for granted. We gotta stop taking life for granted. Cause these folks, you got people out here really suffering. Like for real. We wake up every day sometimes depressed or whatever. Some people can't even do that. Like this is what she said. She woke up, nose bleeding, ears ringing. Don't know what's going on. Cat screaming. Like, come on, just look at her face. Like she damn near got bags under her eyes now. Like, come on, man. That shit
father
ain't
told me
cool.
to hide because Russians can hit twice. I could have died in the 4th of September as my father. He's damaged, huge bruise on the face. He was hit by a window.
So where did you hide?
In basement.
And after that, did you come outside and look?
Yes. That was very dark. There was a fire over these buildings. I have seen some dead people.
So that family that
Yes,
we saw them.
I know them. They are very kind. Every Sunday they walk to the church.
Your building was not destroyed?
Our windows were destroyed, and I had some damages on my face like that. If it left, I could do without eye.
Thank you for sharing. I'm so sorry to hear all these things.
The windows, building, this is not important now because the
Bro,
most
she
important
looks
is
numb.
human life, not some
She looks
material
numb.
things. And hearing screams outside when people are dead under the buildings, to see a lot of blood, this is, I can explain like, this is... I don't like Russia. I never liked them. I never thought that Russia is our brother country, never. Because the main aim of Putin is to take our territory.
So as much as she says that, she like it's not. To be honest, they're damn near the same. She sounds like a Russian.
This is scary. This is disgusting. He thinks that
They just
we are
disgusting people. That's how your people is. Like they're disgusting. I'm gonna be real with you. That's fucked up. That's cruel and disgusting, bro. Why are they
still
doing that?
Soviet Union.
You're killing so many innocent children. Like that's so wrong.
We are not Soviet Union. We are modern Ukraine. Sometimes I received aggressive messages on social media from Russians. We will kill you, we will kill your family, you are terrorists, you are terrorists, you are Bandera. Like that.
Have you ever considered leaving here to go somewhere else?
No, I don't want to go. I have to stay here. I have to help to recover my family from the soul. I have to help to rebuild this country. Because if we all go abroad, what will be in Ukraine? There was no people. What we should do now? We should stay safe and stay together to rebuild country and to save it.
Is there any last message you want to say to people about Ukraine?
I want to say that it can happen in every country because we live in a very dangerous and in scary world. We are not safe in all our territory. In Ukraine, we are not safe. There is no place to save in Ukraine, so please understand us. We are in danger, we are dying. Russia is killing our children, our women, our men. We are suffering from 2014.
That was one of the most emotional interviews I've ever done. It really makes you realize that all the problems that I have and you have are not really problems.
Nothing.
These are serious issues,
problems.
fighting for your life. You know, your car breaks down, you lose your phone,
That ain't nothing.
someone breaks up with you, you get fired from your job. These are not real problems. It's not life or death like what these Ukrainians are facing right now. Meeting strong, resilient people and women like her really puts things in perspective for me. For the first time, I'm hearing a siren go off. Holy shit, man. Right here in the main square of Lviv. That's crazy. I don't know what to do or think right now. Everyone's just kind of walking around being normal. This is my first time ever hearing a siren anywhere in the world.
That in
Travel to
America,
every country.
If you heard that siren in America, I'm pretty sure everybody will start scattering like ants and running and screaming.
The first time. Nobody is bothered. Like, they're
not
saying
even
something in
bothered.
Ukrainian, probably like, be careful, missiles coming. Coming from this church right here. But Draft Guy is just hanging out behind me.
Bro, I feel like they accepted like. I feel like they accepted like, you know, like I might not die, I might not live today. Then you might die. You know, I feel like they're just living every day. They're just walking by faith at this point.
Me, like,
They have to be. They're not even
I've never in my
phased by
life
it.
heard a siren like that, ever.
I mean, what can they do? Like, to be real, like, what can they do? They don't want to leave. You heard what she said. She doesn't want this. That's her home. I don't blame her. That's her home. Some people don't want to leave their home. This is crazy.
What happened?
I took my computer, it's very important. That's
Oh, because you thought that...
Yeah, you'll never know. I ran.
It means a
Almost
missile's coming,
fell.
right? Diana was in the house and she just grabbed her computer and ran outside.
This is the most important thing.
Aww.
It's not backed up, so.
How about me?
You're already outside. I didn't lock it. I didn't lock it.
You just live with sirens.
Oh my god.
And after hearing the girl's story before, it's like scary.
So that means there's an attack here or in where?
Somewhere nearby.
Not here.
Well, it could be here. Markian just messaged me 4 missiles towards the west, not Lviv. There are these Telegram channels that update you immediately in the second of whenever there's a missile, and that's what that siren was just for. Hearing the sirens is a sharp reminder of the ongoing war. The strangest thing is that everyone seems to go on as normal, except us, with our eyes glued to the sky. But Markian says we're safe, and I trust him. So now we are heading to his favorite coffee shop so I can ask him some more questions about the current situation in Ukraine. Cheers, bro.
Budźmo. Budźmo.
Buchma. When you say like cities in the east are occupied, what does it mean occupied? And do you know how much of Ukraine right now is occupied?
30% of the territory. Like Ukraine is the biggest country in Europe, but it's 30% of territory is occupied. To be honest, it's a little bit different in different places. For cities like Mariupol, it's wiped to the ground. City was destroyed, residents killed, most people are like displaced.
And I've heard that.
I'm gonna be honest, chat. Any country outside the United States, I'm not good at it. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not proud of it, but I didn't really pay attention too much in that. You know, it's not that I'm not dumb or anything. I just didn't pay attention in history class to it. It wasn't really interesting to me.
Like family.
Now the Caribbean islands and stuff, you know, I always, you know, I know that, but Asia, the European countries, nah, you have to have that. I like them though. As I'm getting older, I'm getting interested, but I don't know too much about that. I gotta learn.
Families are split off and cut. Is that true?
For example, my friends from Kyiv or from Kharkiv, it's so close to Russia. They have relatives in Russia. But after the war started, a lot of those relatives, they were like, we want Putin to take you. We want you to die. And it's like, your cousins, you don't speak with them anymore.
What do you think will happen in the next 5 years?
A negative scenario is that they continue to push and occupy more Ukrainian land. We lose support of allies because our economy is really destroyed. We don't have the same capacities as Russia has.
Right.
And it's hard to proceed without allies' help. And when we're forced to a peace treaty in 10 years, another war and the whole occupation of Ukraine, I think what can happen. The positive scenario is Russia stopped at some point. Ukraine maybe retakes some land or maybe not, but Russia is stopped. Ukraine got into European Union, goes to NATO. We have security, we develop economically, and then we are like democracy stronghold.
As a Ukrainian, how does this make you feel? What are the struggles that you're internally having with this war?
Partly you lose power over your future. Like we don't not plan for a year ahead, for 2 years ahead, because you don't know what will happen. You're really dependent
by faith. They don't know if this will be their last week, so they're just planning. Okay, tomorrow they're not planning
on external factors. Like I started reading U.S. news because it can be like one vote in the House of Representatives that decides that Ukraine loses the war. You lose control of your future.
The war in Ukraine is undeniably complex, and I came here to try to make sense of it. From what I've learned, the US plays a pivotal role in this conflict, and Trump's re-election could dramatically shift the situation. There's real concern that if Russia were to strike a NATO country like Poland, it might spiral into World War III. And Russia's recent move to send 3,000 North Korean troops to the front lines has widened the conflict and pushed it into an even darker phase. But if we look back and try to understand how we got here, a major turning point came in 2014 when Russia invaded the Donbas region and annexed a Ukrainian peninsula called Crimea. This move was widely condemned and erupted into the full-scale war that Ukraine is fighting today. Yet here in Lviv, I'm shocked to see how life carries on as normal, for the most part.
To say why it's normal is because the war is like 10 years and it's when you live constantly with it and it's somewhere close to you, but also you want to maintain the normal life. Like the kids, they're 10 years old, they don't know Ukraine without war, and it's happening all the time. And they also want like a normal childhood.
I was just thinking about that earlier. Like, how would you explain to a child that there's a war going on? Like, it's hard.
So these trees are really nice, like it's autumn.
Yeah, it's nice to see the autumn. Usually it's like something beautiful, but also we feel that the winter is close. And because of the destroyed energy infrastructure, we are very afraid of the winter because it can be a very cold one.
And you don't have heat?
Heat, light, and it can like be really a new crisis.
We are on our way to a Ukrainian rock concert because Markian said that one of the most famous bands is playing tonight, and we got tickets. We've entered this really cool like compound for nightlife. There's like warehouses, it feels run down. It has vibes like Brooklyn or Berlin. The concert is somewhere around here, but everyone's just kind of getting here, arriving early and chilling. This is way cooler than I expected. I'm excited to explore the nightlife here in Lviv. First order of business, beer. Jakui. Budmo. That is a damn good stout beer. What do you think about this venue?
It is eerily quiet for a rock
You'll
concert.
find a lot more.
What is this venue like for?
Anybody famous comes to Lviv and wants to do a cool event, it's here.
I noticed that it's eerily quiet. Do you think that has anything to do with the war, or do you think it's just culturally?
People, like, they want to be happy. I don't know how too happy. Like, you do a wedding, but you do it like more shy because it's war. It's like people don't do a lot of dancing, for example, at the weddings because you need to balance it with what's happening in the country.
What's the name of this band?
The name of the band is like Antitela, it's antibodies. Basically, the guys in the band fought in the military, but also the revenue from this concert, it goes to the military.
It's starting to get packed, so we should go inside.
Yeah, let's go.
This is pretty cool. It's super lively all of a sudden. Good vibe in here. The music is awesome. Check it out. He's talking about his experience in the military and all the lives that were lost. It's super, super heavy.
The song is about the cities that were lost.
Back in the city center, and it's still pretty lively. So there's a curfew here? What time is it at?
It's at 12 a.m.
But is that like a country thing or is that a Lviv thing?
Country thing. Some of them have like at 8 because it's closer to the front line, but majority of the country is 12.
It's like for every amazing positive moment where you're happy and you want to just enjoy life, you realize that, oh shit, there's actually a curfew and everyone has to go home soon. Such a crazy mix of emotions to be in Ukraine. That night, I slept terribly, tossing and turning between nightmares of Lviv being attacked. In the morning, before we continue our journey east towards the front lines, Markian tells me about a site in the Carpathian Mountains that we cannot miss. I'm really excited to see the countryside, meet the villagers, and see how life compares to the city. But I'm hit with a heavy moment from the start. So we're just driving, and Markian points out on the road that this building was destroyed by a missile right here. So sad. I mean, look at that. You can see all the destruction. It's so heartbreaking. Real taste of war and seeing destruction.
So this was the building. It was direct hit in an apartment.
Yo, whoa. Do you imagine your whole...
Markian is taking us on a hike this morning.
Yeah, I just seeing the 800-old fortress, Tustan.
We made it to the top of this beautiful fortress. And what's the significance of this place?
During the time of Mongol invasion in Europe, it was the gate of Europe.
Tustin is an ancient rock fortress built between the 9th and 13th centuries. Uniquely carved into sandstone, it was a key defense, political center, and trade hub. Today, it's a popular tourist spot with hiking trails, a museum, and the annual Tustin Festival. Right off the bat, Deanna is making new friends.
Do you have Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it gets even better when you visit the nearby villages.
Americans
We
just
pulled
love
over
this
in a
man,
random
huh?
little village here, and there's
Instagram.
street markets. All the babushkas are out selling their homemade fruits and vegetables and nuts because it's the season, and it's just a very nice life out here. From my understanding, the war and combat has not affected these small communities in western Ukraine and the countryside. I think life here exists as it is. Of course, things are more expensive, there's inflation, they probably have friends and family who have been injured, but I mean, as far as like bombs dropping on these houses, I think that it's been pretty normal. Over here we have bow and arrows that if you shoot them, it goes straight to the face of Putin. We were in small little villages here and we saw this lovely lady with fresh grapes. Oh yeah, they're homemade. Oh my god. Can't get the flavor in the US. Our grapes don't have seeds. Has life in this village been normal the last 2 years, or have you noticed any difference?
Ціни ростуть кожний день.
The prices are going up every day.
How about in terms of like safety and danger?
dug
Do you
out.
feel normal out here?
Дякувати Богу.
Thanks God it's quite safe here, but what people in other regions do, like there are a lot of people with disabilities, the people who lost their legs, yeah, so it's very hard.
Are you optimistic or pessimistic for the future?
Я вже стара, а шкода тих дітей. Я вже стара.
I'm really worried about my children, about my grandchildren, because I'm old, but for them it's scary.
Дякую.
Goodbye.
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 Дякую. We found the cheese lady. Fresh homemade cheese. What kind should we get?
I don't know.
That's really tasty. I'll take some of that. It's like when you're in the village, everything is so fresh. In the US, everything's processed, man. Terrible.
There you
So
go.
this is like $3 US for homemade cheese. Дякую.
Bro.
This is really sad, but every time we've been passing on the side of the road,
can't eat
has these
cheese like
pictures of Ukrainian
I mean, I
soldiers
can
who have
eat
lost
cheese,
their
I
lives
love
in the
eating
war.
cheese, but I just can't eat
And when you
raw
walk here,
cheese. I need crackers.
it's really heavy.
It's nasty
It makes
like
you realize that
man.
war is no good for anyone. At the end of the day, when people are dying, it's so stupid. And I wish all wars would end. It's just like so terrible, man. Real people that have lost their lives. From this town only, all these people have been killed. War is not good for anyone. Greed gets in the way, and selfishness. It's been an eye-opening and emotional visit to Lviv in western Ukraine, but we are now ready to take the night train to Ukraine's capital city, Kyiv. I'm feeling anxious and nervous and a lot more uncertain because greater danger lies ahead.
I'm not gonna lie,
But
I'm
as with
still surprised
anything,
their
my
trains
curiosity is fueling me to keep going and
Like
find
the
the
train
truth.
tracks.
What's the situation like there? A little bit more tense than Lviv?
Yeah, there are far more strikes. In Kyiv it can be 4 strikes per day. Hopefully the air defense is good, so it's not a lot gets in.
All right, hopefully. We'll see you guys on the other side of the country pretty soon.
Over there, guys.
Trains are generally safe, right?
Yeah. It's much safer. Like even presidents like Joe Biden, Zelensky, everybody travels by train. It's much safer than flying or going by car.
Are you nervous for Kyiv or excited?
I'm excited. I want to see it.
Me too. Okay, so this is our bed. You can put your bag here. Ah, you've done this before.
Yeah, so you have lights.
Oh, the other lights were broken on our last train.
Yeah, Ukrainian
so happy
trains
to be
are
there. You do
quite
feel so
modernized.
safe
Everybody
right now.
travels by train.
And we're off.
Oh,
Hi.
Hi.
Зараз я з вами
You speak English?
Ти на Eminem похож.
My name is Drew.
you look like Eminem.
Ти і є
so-
Eminem?
I get that a lot.
Значить,
Where are you going now?
Only this
на Харків.
to Kharkiv. Kupiansk is a small town. It's like 10 kilometers to the front line, and he's going to Kharkiv and then to Kupiansk.
Скажи Рашу, тун-дун-дун.
He shoots on
Бля,
Russia.
я ж, сука, йому хочу
He's a
щось-
soldier.
щось подарити.
He wants to get you a gift.
Зараз, one to moment, please.
Okay.
Так, он так улыбается, значит, понимаем. Ты меня понимаешь?
You smile so much
Никогда.
as you understand him.
Буде добре так?
No. Like they sell this tea, and like a small sum of money from every tea goes to the brigade.
Oh, that's
Это
so
тебе.
cool, man. Whoa,
Пацаны.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Это тебе.
Дякую. Дякую.
Eminem.
Yeah.
Eminem.
tomorrow to the brigade, and he will show the picture and says that he was yesterday with Eminem in the train. Shut the fuck up.
Только Eminem и я.
How long have you been fighting in this war? 8 months?
8 years.
8 years.
8 років. Давай, братан, так сделаем. Только так, а не иначе. Переведи. Знаєш, що происходит з тими військовослужбовцями?
It's not even 12 o'clock
What
yet.
happens with servicemen who don't do good? Why?
Сажають на яму.
They
Отака
put
от
them in a
яма, порнохаб, да? Я.
What?
He's asking if he was an operator in Pornhub.
Тепер будеш без кепки ходити.
Can you tell me the best and the worst part about fighting in this war?
Але ми, військовослужбовці, ті, хто боронить.
The worst part is that in the beginning of war, everybody was united and everybody supported the military. But now a few years have passed and they want more support from the civilians. But people are tired. They're saying we don't have an opportunity to help.
Люди заморили.
The civilians say that they're tired, but the military is tired much more. It's very disappointing for them that they're paying such a high price, but the civilian population doesn't join that.
Are you going to be on the front line tomorrow, like in combat?
З Харкова я вже їду на Куп'янськ.
In 2 days.
How are you feeling? Are you anxious, nervous?
Блядь, ну конечно нервуюсь.
Yeah, obviously. And not only physically, but every time you go to the positions, it's very hard psychologically. You have a comrade that's dying on your hands, and then tomorrow you need to go to the position where your comrade was killed, and it's hard to continue this way.
Только так, а не
I
иначе.
know he was drunk. I know he was drinking.
Подивіться, що
Oh, you're
це.
showing me pictures of his
Оце ми
unit.
на навчання.
There is on training.
Це обща фотографія групи.
Is there a group on the training?
Good night.
Я Костя.
Дякую.
Що ми, українці,
We Ukrainians, we will end at some point.
Yes.
Eminem. Дивись.
He's never gonna leave.
Eminem.
He's never gonna leave.
Eminem.
He came back and
He locked
the door.
himself.
Looks like we got a roommate for the next 7 hours.
So there is an active air raid alarm in Kyiv. So we cannot go through the main building of the train station, and we are going through the underground tunnels that connect it to the street.
We just arrived at Kyiv main station and an air siren went off about 30 minutes ago. And so we couldn't actually exit through the main building. We had to go in an underground tunnel to get back up on the street level. It's just past 5 in the morning, so curfew just ended. So people are not coming back on the street. We just gotta get a taxi to a hotel right now and go back to sleep. It's definitely, already can feel more heaviness in the air being in the capital city of a country that is currently at war.
I'll be back in a few hours.
As I check into my hotel, I'm asked to sign a waiver that says if I die, the hotel is not responsible. This paperwork really sends a shiver down my spine. Checked into our lovely hotel, the Radisson Blu, and you can see the blue sky for sunrise. Very peaceful morning out here, calm. Gonna hit the hay for a few hours and be back ready to explore.
You literally have to just sign a waiver saying that if he dies, you're not responsible.
So, Markian, what's our first stop? What is this building behind us?
So this is the Golden Gate. Even before the Moscow was founded, this gate was here.
The capital,
the
right?
wall of the
Even the
ancient
capital of
city.
Ukraine.
Beautiful?
Amazing. Feels normal.
Yeah, it does. So far, everything here feels 100% normal, as if you would never know that we are in the capital city of a country that is at war. And in proximity, we're a lot closer to Russia than we were in Lviv. People are out and about, playing instruments, dancing in the streets. All the cafes are open, people just hanging out, sitting as if it's a beautiful autumn day. And I wonder if this vibe is going to continue throughout the day and in the different neighborhoods that we're going to explore.
The thing that I enjoy most about Ukraine is the spirit of freedom. The way how, let's say, unhinged we are. We're very straightforward. We just enjoy the life as it is, even though it's times of the war right now. I think Ukrainian culture is just such a big array of joy that you could explore. When the full-scale invasion in February 2022 started, I was on my exchange in Glasgow. I had only my family here back in Kyiv. It was very scary because there was nothing I could do to help my family. Coming back right now, I feel way more relaxed and safe than I was abroad. Not in the physical sense, because there are still air raid alarms going off. No city in Ukraine is safe right now because you cannot expect the pattern that Russian armed forces follow in their missile attacks. But compared to the near border territories, it's way safer. But you should be cautious every time.
You can see this entire wall that goes all the way down, like 200, 300 meters, is just covered with photos of fallen soldiers and victims of the war. It just goes all the way down.
I was originally born in Ukraine, actually, in a town called Vinnytsia, and I moved when I was a kid to Canada with my parents.
What is your own personal experience with the war?
So unlike many people who were really surprised when, oh my God, Russians, are really hating Ukrainians. How can these brothers do to us? The thing is that those people were never our brothers. I was raised knowing the history because of my historian grandmother. And so that hatred and the propaganda and all these events were not surprising, but of course they were very, very anger-inducing. The thing that was really hard to deal with was people experience survivor guilt. That's what I was feeling because I was so far away and my friends and family were here suffering. I felt guilty. I felt guilty being in the safety of my home, in North America and just watching it on television. So I think that was really the hardest part for me to go through because I felt why do I deserve to be safe? My family isn't.
If you could say one message to everybody in the world, what would you tell them?
Ukrainian people know that you're supporting them. They appreciate the support. They need the support more than ever. You can't forget about Ukraine. Ukrainian people will prevail. They are resilient. They are brilliant. They have so much to contribute to the world, and I really hope a lot of people will get to visit Ukraine when Ukraine finally wins and can rebuild and be better than ever.
So far, the people in Kyiv have been incredibly open and eager to share their stories. I've never met a community so passionate and strong in my life, and it really gives me hope as I continue to explore and meet locals. We're in a beautiful part of the city called Landscape Alley, where there's cool architecture, everybody hanging out, and bubbles. This arch behind me symbolizes the friendship of Russia and Ukraine, but obviously, in wake of the last few years, they put a crack on the top of the arch. Very, very symbolic. We have found the nightly hangout spot right under the arch. The view's overlooking the city. Everyone's just hanging out, seeing the city lights come up. And just in a few hours will be curfew, and everybody will be home in bed sleeping.
In the city, 125.
Yes, those are rockets.
How do you know? Are you sure that sound is a rocket? It's 1 in the morning and there's an air alarm going off. Listen to this.
Why do they attack at nighttime while they're sleeping? Why do they attack at nighttime while they're sleeping? That's so fucked up. That's wrong.
Attention, the air raid alert system has been set on in Kyiv. It's highly recommended to walk down to our underground parking, located on the -2nd floor.
Shit, we just heard a bone struck. What the
This is a living
You heard
nightmare,
that?
literally. This is a living nightmare, bro. I'm sorry, I wouldn't want to do it.
There was an explosion just 2 minutes ago here. It's an hour away from here.
My heart is beating out of my chest as we walk into the underground bomb shelter. The space is packed with hotel guests who are all lying down on beds scattered around the room. Just text me that he sees drones and hears drones outside of his freaking window. Never had to do this in my life. It's so scary.
The fact that he took a risk to go to Ukraine to make this video, he's very brave. Him and his wife. Brave. Super brave.
It's now 6:18 and everyone's going back up to their rooms. I didn't sleep at all. Every 20 minutes, the alarm went off. Good morning. It is noon. I didn't sleep until like 6:30 a.m. because of these attacks, and I texted Markian actually. I asked him last night, were there more attacks than usual in Kyiv? And he said, absolutely. In many ways, 71 drones were shot down out of 73. It was really scary last night, but we made it out okay.
71
Really,
drones
I've
shot
never had a night like that, ever. Was that a restless night, babe?
The most restless night ever. Like,
For real though, like we could not.
Now I know how they feel. Like that bomb was like right there.
Yeah, I know.
Right there.
We like heard it, like, and after seeing the buildings and destruction, like you just imagine it hitting your room.
People can't live like this. People
Bro,
can't
leave
live in
them
fear.
alone.
Like the threat, the alarm every night. Like
These are
if
real
imagine
people.
if you live here, it's so unfair. Like they should.
It's
They gotta
scary.
have some type of like,
Good morning from Kyiv. It's crazy. Then you just come out to the street and you see the cafes are open and people are just hanging out, having their coffee in the morning. Now I fully understand and have empathy for the people of Ukraine and how they're dealing with this war, because I just experienced it myself. And they've been doing it for 2.5 years. So messed up. Anyways, we're off to explore Kyiv, try to find some good sides of the city. Bro, hey guys. We almost died last night. That was so scary, dude.
I slept through everything.
You slept through everything?
Yeah,
that was the scariest thing.
In
terms of like
smiling.
1 to 10,
I'm telling you, bro.
How bad was that?
This ain't nothing to him.
Last night compared to like a normal day.
I don't know, if drones got inside the city, it's like 8 out of 10. It's quite bad.
Drones. They had to shoot
This is
down
what I mean by
71
Kyiv is one of the
drones.
most beautiful cities in the whole world.
Technology
Behind me
is
is
gonna
St.
get-
Sophia's Cathedral. It's
technology is
the
gonna
oldest
get
cathedral
more
in
and
Eastern
more
Europe,
advanced.
and in my opinion, the most beautiful.
All they're gonna
Look
do
at the
is keep
golden
creating
domes,
more and more
the
advanced
shrines, the
technology
beautiful
involved.
teal architecture, all the different layers. I'm just so blessed to be able to be here right now, and even though the country's struggling, I still think it's so important to appreciate the beauty that exists here in Ukraine. Even before the war, way before all the attention was on this country, it was somewhat unknown to the Western world. Like, nobody really came to Kyiv. Everyone would go elsewhere in Europe. But damn,
The way how
look
it's
at
going right
this.
now.
Last time I was here was 9 years ago, a month before I met Deanna. And now I'm in the exact same spot. Hello.
Hello.
You enjoying?
Mhm.
What do you think about Kyiv so far?
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. No words.
When you just walk 10 minutes away from St. Sophia, you've entered this amazing world of another church, which is called
St. Michael's.
This one, as I understand, was rebuilt.
Yeah, it was destroyed in 1933 by Soviets, just blown up. It was rebuilt in the 90s because it's such an important symbol for Ukrainian history.
Kyiv is so beautiful. It's a pleasure to show you guys some positive angles of Ukraine because it's so amazing here.
Thank you for coming.
Of course,
it's
bro.
great.
Absolutely. You know, I gotta be honest, like, it's way more normal in Kyiv than I expected. I feel for the people though, like, imagine if in your hometown there's war happening. Are you just gonna sit inside your house? Or are you gonna try to go around town and be normal? Go to coffee shops, hang out?
I don't know.
What I'm
What would
seeing
y'all
so
do
far in Kyiv is
if it was a
exactly
war
that.
going on in
And it
Atlanta
is
right now?
pleasant to see.
In Georgia right now, what would I do? Would I go outside or would I just sit in the house? I don't know. I'd just probably just live day by day, to be honest. Is live my best life day by day. Like, live every day like it's my last, you know? Like, I wouldn't even be afraid, because if I know that there's a chance of me just dying every day, I'll just... I'm gonna move cautious, of course. Like, I'm not just gonna go out in the open, like, you know? Be alert, but it's just like, I just know there's a chance I might not, you know, make it tonight. Like, I might die tonight, so it's just like, you still have to live your life, though. You can't just be balled up.
I mean,
in
the
a
city
corner.
is charming and beautiful, and I'm glad that it can still hold
That's
its
the case.
charm
You just
through
might
these
as well
dark
be
days.
kicking out
Look
your
at the way the
misery,
sun
you know?
hits this church behind me. Stunning. And just like that, we turn a corner and are struck by something heavy.
So basically every town, every city in Ukraine, it has its alley of heroes to commemorate the fallen soldiers who were killed in action. Because it's very important for us to remember we paid a very high price for freedom and we value it. Not everybody is from Kyiv, but from units that defended Mariupol, the town that was surrounded in the first weeks of war, and where really heavy fighting were happening, and more than 30,000 civilians were killed. Defense of Mariupol was one of the greatest battles of this war.
Last time I was in
It's
Ukraine,
crazy though, 'cause
definitely,
growing up, I
didn't have
always
all
just
this going
heard
on.
people
It's really,
saying,
really
"Fuck
sad.
Russians."
Look how young
Fuck
he
Russians.
looks.
It's just-
He was
Crazy
21.
greedy people, bro.
2002 to 2023. 21 years old.
Love to drink vodka.
So here you can see shells that were shot at the city, and
Y'all ever see that little ice lady on Instagram from Russia who just swim in ice cold water all day and eat ice?
these small lines are the civilians who were killed, and there
Russia.
are thousands of these.
This whole square has transformed tremendously since I was here last time. Like, you can't walk 5 steps without being reminded of this war.
Every person who has a lost close friend.
Did y'all see what was that show called again on Netflix with that girl 11? And I can't remember that. What is that? That Stranger Things. If y'all seen Stranger Things, y'all know that it was I think the 4th season or season 3. It took place in Russia.
Or a relative, they come here and they leave a flag or they leave a photo. I can see like a photo of boyfriend of my friend.
Russians
It was
crazy.
2 months ago. A lot of people are lost. The relatives don't know if they're alive or dead. They bring the flags to post here.
It really hits you in moments like this. Well, this is one of the most visual and disturbing monuments I've ever seen. And there's only going to be more and more people that have lost their lives until this disgusting war is over. Where are these tanks from?
The Russians planned to take the Kyiv in 3 days, and at the beginning of war, they were really close. They were almost 5 kilometers from Kyiv. The Ukrainians fought back, and this is all the equipment that was burned down just near Kyiv.
And they just brought them here to put in the main square to show people?
Yes, it's a pride that we have destroyed them.
And how about this green car right here?
So it's the sad part of the story, because as many civilians from the outskirts of Kyiv were evacuating, Russian killed a lot of civilians and destroyed their cars. And so this is one of the cars that was evacuated.
They pretty much just left it as is. You can even see inside of it. Wow, man. There's glass everywhere. It's really powerful to put these war relics right here in the main square. How does it make you feel?
Very, very, very
barking
sad.
at,
Thousands
Ace?
of civilians and were killed during.
Hey, who you barking at? Come here, boy. You okay? What you barking at? You alright? Ace boy? Oh, you barking at the mailman? What the mailman do to you, huh? You trying to drop off my W-2 so I can file my taxes, Ace. Don't scare them away.
This war.
I gotta file my
And,
taxes.
I don't think Russians
broke.
separate
need
like
some money.
civilian or military. If you're Ukrainian, you're a target.
Markian's words really hit home, helping me understand what Ukrainians are going through up against Russia's dictator and his twisted view of history. While the exact starting point of the conflict is up for debate, there's no denying that Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 marked a pivotal moment. I'm about to meet a girl from that very peninsula who escaped to live in Western Europe, and I'm itching to hear her story. Tell me some things that you love about Ukraine.
The stories we tell about us, stories that are part of our traditions and culture and how we define ourselves.
You come every 3 or 4 months. Is that to see your family or just to hang out with friends?
Actually both, but my family is an occupied part of Ukraine. That's why I can't see them.
Are you in touch with them often?
I'm in touch with them like by through internet, phone. Yes.
But you can't visit.
First of all, it's not safe. Secondly, you could enter Russia as a Ukrainian citizen only through one of the airports in Moscow, and you would be what they call filtrated. Technically, yes, but in practice, no.
And they can't leave.
To leave Crimea, they would need to go to Russia, then for example, Georgia, and then to fly to Europe, and then go to Ukraine.
Crazy.
So, yeah.
What is your personal experience with war?
Complicated.
My life would never be my life that I have now if not war, because yes, I lost a lot. I lost kind of life, but I got another one. I would never had these opportunities that I had because of the war. So it's also about what we lost, but also we all found something in this.
That's a really nice, optimistic look, actually. If you could say one message to everyone in the world, what would you tell them?
Ukrainians fighting for democracy all over the world, not only for our country. Support us.
Last time I was here in 2015, I actually hiked up to the top of the Head of the Mother statue But I remember it was the sickle emblem on the shield, which was like the Soviet or communist symbol.
So it's still
but
nice
they've actually
places,
changed
you
it
can go
now
in Ukraine
to be
right
the
now. The
Ukrainian
whole
symbol.
place is not
It was just changed 1 year ago.
We're about to go
messed
down
up.
the second
It's
deepest
still a nice
metro station
place
in the
you can
world
go
here in
and
Kyiv. The deepest is in North Korea, which I also went on.
Explore.
So the moment you walk in here, you
Take
feel
a
like
nice picture.
very Soviet. This metro was
But
built
there's
during
a war
Soviet
going
times,
on.
so it's very dark and has that smell.
If I was to go to Ukraine, I'll probably just stay not even 24 hours. I'll probably just stay for a day. Probably from 12 to 6. See what it's like. Man, I'm out. I don't want to be there nighttime for no bomb or none of that. You know, just go. Don't waste no time. Explore. I'm not staying in one spot. Just gonna go explore for 6 hours and I'm out.
Check out these ads. Just when I thought we had gone down enough, we're actually going way down again.
You can also use the metro as a shelter. So during the air raid sirens, it's free, and people go here just like to stay safe.
So so the whole city has a siren, people come down.
Yeah. So I have a friend who is a
blame
teacher. Go down with your pupils to the metro to conduct lessons.
blame them.
So they stay here.
It's true, some schools in Ukraine have relocated to metro stations, creating safe spaces for students to continue learning during attacks. Many shelters, hospitals, and art galleries have also moved underground, which makes me feel both inspired by people's creativity and heartbroken by the necessity of such measures. As far as metros around the world go, this is one of the coolest. One ticket is 20 cents per ride. Very, very cheap. What is your own personal experience with the war?
The war began for me on 24th of February. I decided that I want to help my country. I started volunteering, and then I started working with journalists, creating stories about people fighting in Ukraine, going to the front lines. So war really changed my way of life a lot. And I think we became mature much faster. We took the responsibility for our country. The war in Ukraine is very strange because in some ways it's a 21st century war with very modern systems, with drones everywhere, with everyone using a smartphone. But it's also like a 18th century war with millions in the trenches, with like really close fighting all the time and artillery playing a central piece. So it's very hard to imagine that like we have mass mobilization, the closure of borders in the 21st century.
If you could say any message to people in the world watching this video, what would you say to them?
Ukrainian war matters, and it's not just a regional conflict, and it will affect how the world develops in the next years. If aggressor countries understand that they can just invade their neighbors, take away the land, and get off with it, and it's like everything is okay, you will see more conflicts in the future. And if we want a peaceful world, we want to support Ukraine.
So, I've heard Kyiv has some pretty fun nightlife.
Yeah, it has.
And we're still before curfew. Curfew's at midnight.
Yes.
So we have some time to go wander around the streets. We make our way to a late night burger joint started by this man who lived in Hollywood for many years and brought the American taste and vibes back to Kyiv. This is one of the coolest restaurants I've ever been in. It's amazing to see how you brought all of your influences from the US into one place. And everybody signs the walls? Everyone. How has Kyiv changed from all the time that you traveled until you came back 5 years ago?
And I don't see huge changes.
Yeah, me either.
It's just normal life, living. The whole people, all Ukrainians, united for a war for the first time actually, united together to get this devil and to win. The people really united now.
When I first came to Kyiv 10 years ago, I thought it was one of the coolest cities in the world. And now it's hard not to feel angry after witnessing how the lifestyle has changed. As for now, we are gearing up to head further east. It's about 5:45 a.m. and we're heading to the front lines in Kharkiv. Wasn't originally planning to head up there, but one thing led to another and Markian said he would join us. You nervous? You're not.
People live there. I mean,
you're right. That's a good point. People live there, so we're gonna go check out and see what the situation is. Morning, bro.
Morning's here. Let's go to Kharkiv.
Did you get some sleep?
Yeah.
You ready to drive?
I'm tired,
Did you get a first aid
tired,
kit?
guys.
What's in it?
I'm tired.
Tourniquet, bandages.
Just in case, you never know. Thank you for being responsible, my friend.
You got that med kit.
We're passing by the largest airport in Ukraine, which is completely closed. Last time I came here, I flew through there, and during war times, it is not functioning. What are you expecting to experience in Kharkiv?
I think it's a very lively city that is one of the strongest examples of Ukrainian resilience.
We're approaching a checkpoint here. Tank.
We are good.
All good?
And so we are in Kharkiv region now.
Now the stakes couldn't be higher. Kharkiv is a city on the front lines where the impact of the war is visible and the locals are living with the constant threat of airstrikes and aggression. More than half of the buildings in the city have been damaged and millions have been displaced.
Never thought I would make it out here, on this trip especially.
Doors are boarded up, all the doors.
We've crossed like all of
So
Ukraine.
this is where
It's
really-
changed quite a bit. It feels very different here architecturally. Very clean, extremely clean.
It's bomb. This is bomb. Oh my god. That's the alarm.
Emergency alert.
What's that?
What does it say?
The military administration alert. You need to proceed to shelter now.
Dude, what?
No? Oh shit. Okay, this is mine.
Happened to you now. Should we find a shelter?
I don't know. It's like the alerts in Kharkiv. It's 20 hours, so if you see on the street, people are just going on with their lives. Because it's
Bro,
almost
that's
impossible
crazy.
to follow each one. It's very hard to
Yeah, but look,
spend 20
like-
hours per day in the shelter.
Yeah, I mean, I do see people out and about, but it seems like things are closed.
We only have today to spend in Kharkiv. We have to get back to Kyiv by night, because if we arrive at 12:01, which is 1 minute past curfew, they won't let us in the city. So we're on a very strict time schedule. But first impressions, this place feels dead. There's not life
Be
like
grateful,
you
guys,
could
and
find
thank
in
God for the
Kyiv.
life
I mean, it's almost noon right now, and pretty much it's empty. We're
Somebody
kind of
out
in
there,
one of the main
somebody
parts of
out there
town.
is gonna
I'm anxious myself to see what we're going to discover. We're going to be
Somebody
meeting up
wish
with a
they
friend of
was
a
in
friend
your
here pretty soon. Going to try to stay positive through this whole day. You can see here a picture of the city administration district just right here in a coffee shop. It's so sad, there's just relics everywhere in a beautiful coffee shop like this. So how many times have you been to Kharkiv?
I would say 4 or 5. Only before the war, actually.
So you haven't, so it must feel different now than last time.
Yeah, it feels different. You can see more military and less young people. Kharkiv was a student city. It was like 200,000 students.
This entire cafe is female. Because of the war times, a lot of their male counterparts and just males in general have to be fighting. Have you noticed that a lot of the streets are more dominated by women?
Yes, you can notice it on the trains, on the streets. For example, in small towns, mining towns, women are now in the coal mines.
Is it true that you can't travel in Europe? Like women have the freedom to cross the border into Poland? Any female?
Yes.
What is the situation like for men?
It's more complicated. The general law is that men from 18 to 60 are not allowed to leave Ukraine. But there are some exceptions. If you have 3 kids, or you have a disability, or you have a person with disability you care for, then you can cross the border. But otherwise, no.
Imagine a situation where you're literally trapped in your own country, which is at war. If you're a single male without 3 kids and don't have a disability, you can't leave at all. You can't leave. And you don't know when you will be able to leave.
Yes.
What's the current status of Kharkiv?
Everybody was very scared for Kharkiv at the beginning of this year because Russians were preparing an offense, a new one, because of deliveries of US aid were stalled. The Ukrainian army was in bad shape, and they're still very close. It's still there, very heavy fighting close to Kharkiv.
Are you nervous to be here?
Actually more happy, because I really wanted to visit it city so long. It's one of the most beautiful cities, and I really loved it. It's great to be back.
Great to be back. We just took 3 steps outside of the coffee shop and we see this completely destroyed building. Like, I haven't seen buildings destroyed like this since I was in Syria back in 2019. Absolutely horrific. It looks like pieces of this building are about to fall off above me.
It's devastating.
Isn't that crazy that we were just eating?
We didn't even notice that it was like, could have been that coffee shop while
Right?
we were there.
Right.
Or, I mean, it's crazy.
Have you ever seen destruction like this?
No.
So sad.
I mean, not from
Not
bombs.
like bombs. Can't believe what we're seeing right here. It's heavy. What happened here in this building?
It was a massive shelling, January 23rd. It was the most massive shelling in Kharkiv during the whole full-scale invasion.
What's the situation like right now in Kharkiv?
Living in Kharkiv, it makes you like numb to everything Like, okay, one rocket, okay, like one bomb. That's okay. Like, oh, this bomb is just ruins all my plans because I cannot go to office because I have to be in the underground to hide from it because it's flying directly to me, like to my neighborhood. I guess, yeah, but that's how we live.
Do you wake up every morning feeling scared of what today brings?
No, I feel maybe hope. Okay, I hope there will be no rockets.
Have you been really close to rockets? Like you've seen them nearby?
Yes, in Kharkiv, I saw only Iran's drones, like kamikaze drones.
I don't have any words to say. I mean, it's incredibly sad, and I'm so sorry that you have to live through this terrible situation. But thank you for sharing. I came here to try to meet people like yourself and talk about what's going on.
That is very important. Thank you so much.
Of course.
That is very important.
Is life here normal?
I mean that in Kharkiv, normal becomes something strange. I feel that I become more anxious. It's an unstoppable process to check the phone for alerts. I try not to be too messy with security. Some things to escape, for example, I have my bag prepared with documents and all this stuff. I believe that it's important to live your life as intense as possible. I feel that if there are some doubts, you should get rid of them just because having them hinders you from enjoying your life and exploring your bravery.
Here in the main square of Kharkiv, you can see these buildings were destroyed, but they've actually been rebuilt just in the last few years. This is the main administration building right there, also rebuilt, but everything's fully boarded up. It just shows that they really are trying to move on. It's been one of the main themes I've seen so far in Ukraine is everyone I've met, they're just thinking about how Ukraine can build its future and hopefully win this war. I just got to take a side note here and say it's really difficult to shoot this story. Like there's so many emotions and there's definitely like a heavy cloud over this city. It feels totally different than elsewhere we've been in Ukraine so far. War is no good for anyone.
This is the building, and this is a strike in 2022.
After seeing so much destruction, it's kind of surreal to step into one of Kharkiv's busiest shopping malls. Another reminder of how life continues, even through so much fear. There's a big dancing competition happening in the mall. Pretty cool. Did you ever think you're going to be at a dance show in Ukraine?
You can't just be scared.
It's way better than Dancing with the Stars.
What do you think about this?
Crazy, like.
It makes you happy, right?
So many kids.
I got to admit, it's really amazing and festive in here. I did not think I would see these things in Kharkiv. It gives me the goosebumps just being in this room right now.
They have so much future. I don't want to cry.
Why are you crying?
Because they have so much future, and then this is happening.
They're alive. There's so much personality.
That was so fun. It felt like just any other places in the world.
They're good people. They deserve to have a good life, right? Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
I don't see.
What's your
I
name?
don't see no homeless people around. I don't see no. I don't see no crazy people walking around. It's all filled with happiness, joy.
Victoria. So tell me a little bit about this event happening inside.
Вже другий рік поспіль.
It's the second year in a row that we do a cup of city mayor on sport dance.
This is like a little slice of happiness. How important is it for you, for the resilience of the Ukrainian people, to have events like this?
Я вважаю, бо Харків.
It's very important for us actually because we have only one Kharkiv and Kharkiv is Ukrainian city and we are fighting for our sovereignty, our unity, and these events are very important in this. Young children in Kharkiv, they have a right to be happy, they have a right to enjoy their lives, and when the schools are closed and we have only underground schools, it's very important for them to have some kind of outside activity to enjoy, to be happy.
If you could say any message to people in the world, what would you tell them?
Підтримуйте Україну, вона того варта.
Support Ukraine, it is worth it.
Her message is spot on, and I can't wait to see what other kinds of sports these kids are getting up to. There's a basketball competition happening here. It's really cool to see this, the kids and adults having fun together, just like anywhere else in the world. Everybody loves a good game of basketball. It's a global sport. We are now meeting up with Dmitry, who was born and raised in Kharkiv and hasn't left since the war began. He started an NGO to help rebuild his city, and I'm curious to hear his perspective on everything.
I understood that
full-scale invasion is started. I heard all the strikes. I come to my parents. First 3 days we really high in the bomb shelters, but after I understand that we need to organize some volunteer activity to help our people. So we start a humanitarian line. We help with hygiene, food kits. We help young mothers.
So you started this right after the initial strikes happened?
Yes.
What can you tell me more about the organization that you started?
With Yaskal, with Yas Council.
How do you raise money? Who donates?
All citizens help us to collect money. They send us and we buy foods. As UN started to help us, our mayor done a good job.
Tell me about your feeling right now in Kharkiv.
Still alive. Kharkiv is continuing to develop. Unfortunately, we really have missile strikes each week.
Anywhere around the city or?
Anywhere on the city. It's civil buildings like flats, multi-apartment buildings.
As I understand, a lot of the strikes are on military, but here they just shoot it into the city and they're hurting civilians.
Yeah, there are recent missile strikes where people were living.
So what is this?
It's like small bomb shelters in main bus stops where people can hide when they hear alarm.
Can they go there? Yeah, it has to be like.
It's not underground.
No.
So if there's a bomb, this won't be destroyed.
Direct bomb, yeah, but a lot of people died. Not of the direct. Yeah.
When there's a siren, how do you know how serious it is?
Our citizen heard a lot of sirens and for more than 10 hours. Fortunately, not always hide.
So all these buildings around us were destroyed or partially destroyed?
In Kharkiv, I think like half of the building have a different level of destruction.
Look, so these are actually boards. They painted over them. This is actually a board.
In some districts, for example, there is no apartment buildings, schools, or hospitals without destruction. Unfortunately, our enemies focus on our businesses because they try to destroy our economical. But as I always tell, our business is heroes too, because they help our economic to develop. They're still working in Kharkiv. Restaurants, barber shops, cafes were here before missile strikes.
Now they're gone. And look, there's a popular
Yes, it's one
bar.
of our popular
George. Just 2 weeks ago, there was a strike right here. This was a hotel?
Yes, you can see two hotels. It was our biggest and the main hotel. These hospitals which were damaged too.
Hospital and the hotel.
Imagine them just shooting.
We're right next to the main square of the city, right?
Not even shooting.
This hospital was destroyed 2 weeks ago by a strike.
That's crazy,
It's still
bro. That's not
functioning,
cool.
but just without windows.
We're now getting closer to the front line, just 20 kilometers away. As we approach, the damage is impossible to ignore.
The school was completely destroyed. When the Russians first invaded Kharkiv, they actually set up a station here, a base in this school. And then as soon as the Ukrainians found out, they bombed the hell out of it. And this is the remains of the school. You can even see the soccer field in the back.
A school? Nah, bro.
Feel
That's
bad.
not cool, bro.
I don't know.
Sad?
It's very sad.
Just outside the school is a playground, is a soccer court, and there's even homes right here that are not destroyed.
This was
Bro, that's wrong, bro.
Isn't more terrible?
It's terrible. It's a school, Joe. And they got ambushed. They didn't know that they were coming. What kind of human on earth would do that thing? So terrible.
And I remember the news when a whole shopping mall was destroyed. Well, this is the shopping mall. When you first came here, after the bombs or the missiles hit, what did you actually do to help the people that needed help?
When he arrived with the volunteer team, he heard screaming people. They help fire department get the people from this building. Was a weekday, daytime. Citizens make like shopping as they hit this center.
This building behind me was struck 4 days ago. I'm having a really difficult time comprehending all this. I mean, it's just like a beautiful neighborhood, people still walking around, and then that's the kitchen. You can see the appliances still in there. You can see clothes hanging from the wire.
Was there any particular reason why they targeted this?
and there were no civil building. More than 3 civilian people died. 40 people have a different level of injuries.
What are your thoughts?
I don't know, it's really crazy how the whole building collapsed. It's like whole life that they living in this apartment, whole small objects, kids' photographs, and it's all gone.
That's a living nightmare.
I think this is the most disturbing I've seen of any destruction.
It's just wrong.
Smell of gunpowder and fire inside of these buildings. You get the feeling like when you're sitting inside the house and the explosion comes and you freak out and don't know what to do. Like, that's what people in this building just experienced 4 days ago. It's really, 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 really hard to comprehend and to document. How does this make you feel?
4 days ago.
There's no words, to be honest. Oh my god, I'm having goosebumps from anything right now.
Look, this is the front door to someone's house. Like, you can't even begin to understand and comprehend what the hell happened. It's crazy, this entire district that we're in on the outskirts of the city has been demolished. All these buildings are just gone. It's so freshly just happened. You can see like clothes hanging in the street. You can see stuffed animals that are just right here, like as is. It's the most eeriest thing ever, and it's really, really, really tough to be here right now.
Understands that it's not only Ukrainian problem, it's a problem of all war, and we are not alone.
You should appreciate every day, because you don't know what happened in your country tomorrow.
Traveling across Ukraine over the past 7 days has been nothing short of an emotional roller coaster. For every moment of joy and connection, whether it was sharing a laugh over a meal or seeing kids play in the streets, there were twice as many.
She woke up with blood dripping down her face and her ears ringing.
Moments of heartbreak and fear. War spares no one. It's devastating.
Traumatizing. That's like a living nightmare. That's so sad, bro. So sad. Like, that's ridiculous. Family caught him taking. His family caught him talking to minors again. What? I thought that was I thought he was talking about academic. Cause y'all heard about academic getting caught up talking to some 16 or 15-year-old. The Mexican drug empire. What do y'all want to watch? What y'all want to watch? I found one of the America's Biggest Problems. What's America's Biggest Problem? That's from a disease that almost no one understands. America's facing numbers of addiction places. Over 48 million Americans are living with substance disorder. I kind of want to watch this one. I kind of want to watch this. I might end the stream and start it back again for this, because I want to watch this video right here.
Free Tax USA.
Alright guys, I'm gonna end it. Give me like probably 10-15 minutes. Probably even an hour, to be honest. Yeah, just make sure y'all like and subscribe, alright?